The Black Fat Femme Podcast is a production of iHeartRadio and Dr. John Paul, LLC.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Black Fat Femme Podcast, where all the intersections of identity are celebrated. I am one of your hosts, Jordan, or Joho, if you're a nasty girl, if you're a nasty girl. And this week, I'm taking the reins for John because Mother just moved. Moving on up, moving on up, moving on up, moving on up. So we're going to try to give them a chill pill today. Mother, how are you?
It's John, also known as Dr. John Paul. And yes, the dust has settled, but has the shade. The shade lasts always. I want to say this. So many of you have probably gotten hints that yes, the doll has moved. I moved from a 2-bedroom to a 3.5 bathroom, or 3.5 bedroom. It's considered 0.5 because the bathroom inside the room does not have a shower, which is weird. It's the whole to do. But I officially have my own office now, which makes me so fucking happy because after almost 9 years of not having my own space to be able to like create and move the way I want to, I now can just come in and shut the door and really just focus without feeling like I have to be bothered. So that is the most beautiful feeling in the world. But I was going to save my rant for my No Man Pam. And I decided at the beginning of this show that I'm not going to do that. We are going to start off the show with me coming out the gate hot. So I just want to say this, that I am a huge believer that customer service died at the top of the pandemic. And I don't mean that to be like, how do I say this? Because, died is a choice word with the pandemic and with coronavirus, right? So I know it can be real murky for people and people be like, ooh, that's problematic, right? So I want to be very, very cautious in saying that I don't make a joke about what the pandemic has gave or what the pandemic has done to us. But what I will say is that customer service was one of the things that went out the window with the mask and all the other stuff that we were doing, the COVID precautions that we were doing. And I will say this, COVID's out there, girl. Flirt. She's taking the girls down. Big time.
The test positivity is 20% in these counties, girl. 1 in 5 people. I said,
I ain't seen nobody together, girl. She's doing her thing. Anyway, but all that said, so I, the long of the short of it is that I paid a specific company some change, and I was gonna name it, and then my husband was like, "Don't say their name because you don't want any lawsuits." So I'm not gonna say their name. I'm just gonna say that if you live in the Inland Empire, they are a company with Inland Empire in their name. So I'll just say that. Okay. They were neither mindful nor helpful movers. Do with that what you will.
Interesting words.
Baby. So let me just, okay. So I've already shared the story with you, Joho, but to the listener, you're probably wondering what the fuck happened. Okay. So the movers got here Thursday morning. Everything was great. It was fantastic. It was fine. It was by about 2:30. Right, that I started to notice, okay, this shit is going downhill very quickly because I was looking around and the big stuff wasn't moved, right? Okay, I feel like I'm telling this story all wrong, but okay. So they get to the house, they're great, everything is fantastic. Y'all just gonna have to rock with me through the story time. Drink, they come through, they're smiling, everybody's great, everyone's having a good day. Yeah, we're gonna move, we're gonna have a really good time, everything's gonna be very smooth. We don't want you to stress. Oh, but that was not the case, right? So I'm looking at my watch by like 12:30 and I'm looking around my apartment and I'm realizing that none of the big stuff has been moved. Our couch is still in the house. Shelves are still in the house. My Peloton is still in the house, like all the big stuff. And I'm looking around going, if we're going to move all these boxes and all this big stuff, why are y'all moving so slow, right? So 2:00 comes. Keep in mind that none of the big stuff has been moved at this point, and we are now 4 hours into this move. So I'm looking at the clock going, I'm not paying y'all overtime. You need to be done before 5 because that's what I paid for. I paid for 8 hours. Well, hurry up. We got it. Okay, cool. So then by like 2:15, I'm going, no, y'all don't got it. Let's just get these boxes to the new house because again, I'm not paying overtime for y'all. We get to the new house. They start moving stuff. again, moving real super slow. And I'm like, are y'all, what y'all like, hopscotching, jump roping? Like, what are y'all doing out there? Like what? Then they're looking at me like I'm supposed to grab a box. And I'm like, nigga, I hired
Ooh,
you.
ooh, ooh.
Why are you looking at me like I'm supposed to be lifting a box?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Girl, tell me why it gets to be 5 o'clock and half of that U-Haul truck is still full at 5 o'clock. U-Haul is still full. So by 5:15, I'm texting this man who owns this company going, it's 5:15 and your truck is still halfway full because your movers have been outside
Mhm.
playing duck duck goose. Okay? You know they took all them boxes off that truck and left them on the side of the road and left.
No.
Can't make it
I
up.
don't remember that part of the notes.
Can't make it up.
No.
Pulled all our
They
boxes out the truck, left it on the side of where
we
my
gotta
new house
go.
is, and
Bye.
left. All three of them. Left me and Jonathan to have to move the rest of them boxes into our new
Okay, so
house.
it was 3 dudes. It was 3
Uh-huh.
dudes that did.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I have some questions.
Go for it.
But is this okay, okay. So how big was the truck first of all?
It was a 26-foot truck.
So 3 so 3 men in a truck. So
Uh-huh.
so folks who don't know my background, growing up my parents
You
owned
own a
a
moving
moving
company.
company.
Yes, you did. You
So
said that on the
I know
show.
a thing I think you know I know a thing or 3 about moving. So you
Yeah.
tell me you had 3 men in a
Yep.
26-foot truck, if a bobtail to be more kind,
Mhm.
which is the type of truck most likely, and you packed up a 2-bedroom place,
Uh-huh.
and it took
Mhm.
it took them 4 hours to pack. Now when they packed the place up, did you have the boxes? You already had boxes of stuff
Everything
already?
was already boxed.
All they had to do was just move the big
Half of the
furniture
stuff was in
and,
our
like, pack.
garage. Half of the boxes were in our
So,
garage.
it took 4 hours to
Mhm.
just move boxes into
Mhm.
the truck. Now, your place did have stairs, so they had
Yes.
stairs to get down,
Yeah.
and no elevator. And how far was the truck from
No,
I'm
we
just
have an
wondering, like,
the old so my old place had an elevator.
okay, work. Okay. So it took them 4 hours with elevator to move the boxes that you already packed up,
Yep.
and then still not even able to move the big furniture they definitely had
Yes.
room for in that truck.
Yes.
Then after 5 hours, they moved it over, and then it took them 3 hours to
Un
maybe to take out to do they unload the big furniture at
Yes.
least, and then just left the wow.
Yeah.
Would not have flown in my family's business.
Yeah.
Would not have flown.
Yeah.
Would have absolutely been like, "We're gonna comp you this move now. We're so sorry." I mean,
Yeah.
also, it would just never happen. Like that shit. Ooh, girl. When I have my movers, I was like, "Listen, y'all, I'm paying by the hour, and I know y'all's rate, and y'all are really nice people, but I know this should not take more than 2
Right.
hours to wrap this place up. I already had this in box, or they just wrap this shit in tape and bring it down. We have
And
elevators. There's
that's
trucks
the
right
thing
outside. Don't
right.
play
I
me. Oof.
everybody I've talked to has said that this is sketch, that it took them 8 hours to do this for a two-bedroom house. And I've been trying to be very kind and like how and diligent and how I've dealt with it. But now that I've talked to you, now that we're having this conversation and now that I've talked to everyone I've talked to about this story, I'm getting more and more upset by the day.
If they were having issues, for example, right, like your new place is 3 stories, right? 3 stories,
Right. It is 3
3 stories,
stories.
and no elevator, right? So like, it would make sense if it took longer for them to unload into that space,
Right.
but truthfully, so like growing up, we could have moved. Well, I say we as if I was lifting boxes myself, but
Right, right.
my dad and his crew, they would move a whole house in a day, like a whole house, like a
Right.
4 bedroom house in a day.
Wow,
In an
wow.
8 hour day, maybe 10 hours, given what depending on what stuff they had, right?
Right,
And things, like moving is not changed much, but like like things are different today than they were before. Things were heavier back then in a lot of ways too,
right.
and so they
TVs,
would
yeah,
move a whole
couches and stuff.
house in
Mhm.
8 to 10 hours maximum.
Right,
So there's no way they had these people to 8 hours to move a 2 bedroom place. Like it took maybe like when we moved. When I moved here, it took me maybe 6 hours to move and unload everything, but that's because I was still boxing when they got there. Um and we had stairs. We had stairs in the elevator, and we were a 20-minute drive away from where I was already too.
right,
So like
right.
so like those things add on. But like It should not. And I only had 2 people. That's the thing is I only had 2 people versus 3 people because the whole point is that you have 3 people. You have 2 people to move stuff, one person to watch the truck and you switch off. And so if
Right.
they had 3 people and they weren't no, hell no. I'm
Yeah.
mad for you. Let me find them on Google. Let me find them on Google. Let me cuss them out for you real quick. Let me
Please,
tell y'all,
please,
y'all not
please.
doing the thing at all. And
Mhm.
they should what they should do is call you back and say we're gonna actually refund you the pricing, especially they left your stuff on the side of the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
That in itself grounds for termination. Nope, we're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
So
I
that
could
yeah.
not be me.
So
Ooh,
now talking to that, it's definitely going to it's definitely I'm now going to escalate it and say I want at least half of what I paid back because I had to
yes.
go back. And that's the other thing. I had to go back on Saturday to get the rest of my stuff. Like I had to pay
They
someone
didn't even
else.
move everything in
They
the.
didn't even move
Mhm,
everything. I still had to go
mhm.
back and pick up more stuff the next
Okay.
day or 2 days later. So I'm definitely you got my mind moving. But anyway, all that to
Oof.
be said, now that I have exhausted that story and I don't want to relive it again, we are going to go ahead and push through with
Okay.
push through
Well,
and move on to some
since this
joy.
is a family this week, y'all, we are allowed to mix things up, but we gonna kiki and cuckoo today about everything under the sun, and we gonna kick it off. And I guess not first this time, because second, because you already went into the story, but we still gonna give us to do every week Miss Tisha Campbell her flowers and our still here segment. And since we're in Olympic season, John, I want
Ew.
to ask you if you could make up an Olympic category sport to compete in, what would it be? Now, for
Mm,
me,
that's a good
it's
question.
easy. It would be memorizing all the ad libs in the R&B songs, okay? Like a girl when Beyonce was like, "Girl, I've been knowing you since you were 10. You cannot have them your friend." Girl, that was my shit, okay? You give me an
Yes,
ad lib
yes.
in a song, baby, I got it
Mhm.
memorized. I'm got
Mhm.
care,
Yeah.
care, uh, care, care to you, the like, I want to my man.
Yeah,
Ah. Girl,
Beyonce
yes. Give me the
Beyonce,
run.
like her runs and her ad libs are an extremely important part of what should be an Olympic sport because when
Okay?
she was in her DC days, Mama was definitely adding in
She
all. I
okay.
always think about before I go on and give mine. I always think about that performance. Do you remember when she sang "Emotions" with Celine Dion and she was
No,
hollering in Celine Dion's ear? You probably were too
no.
young to remember
Oh,
that.
sweet
But yeah,
Lord.
there is a performance. Go on YouTube, look up the Destiny's Child and Celine Dion
Okay,
duet of Emotions.
okay.
And Beyonce is doing Beyonce is Beyonceing. She is literally because that's the thing about Beyonce when she was younger, she had moments where she was always trying to out sing other people or
Yes,
she
she
was
was.
doing a lot of runs. And so
She
in
did.
this in particular moment, she is singing and Mama is literally hollering in Celine Dion's ear, and Celine looks at her like, "Girl," like you can see Celine being a professional, but like Beyonce's like, "Ah!" Celine just
Celine's
looks
like,
at her like,
don't make me
"Girl,
French
why are
don't make
you
me
doing all
French in
that?"
this bitch. She
Yeah.
said, "No, no, Beyonce. No,
Mhm.
no. No, no, don't do it, Beyonce."
Yeah.
Ooh,
So it is that moment. If you have never seen that performance, please go back. But I was gonna say, girl, nigga, look at yourself. He got you going to hell. We ain't never seen you like
sugar
we
can I
know
these.
we like you well. Oh,
Wah!
yeah.
And that's what leads into
Oh,
mm, mm.
singing down. But anyway, I'll say this in all seriousness, I have said I think stripping should be a
Oh,
Olympic sport. And hear
okay.
me out. This is why. Because I think of strippers as Olympians because if somebody told my big black fat ass to jump up on a pole and shake my ass, I wouldn't live.
Okay,
I'd die. Like there's no
facts.
way that I could get up to the top of somebody's pole and then like spin around and do a whole bunch of tricks and then drop it to a split. It ain't possible.
Honesty period.
Mhm.
Did you watch P Valley?
No, I tried a few episodes. I never got into it.
No, I understand. I understand. But so in the first episode, Mercedes I think that was pole dances, and to me, this was a genius decision. The director like cuts to music, right, and so all you hear is Mercedes like huffing and puffing, huffing and puffing. You
Uh-huh.
hear her climbing up the pole. You hear like you hear like like you hear how
Much
much
yeah.
work it is to get on a pole, and she's doing that herself. Like she is doing that actually. She's acting in that, and I was like, this is could not be me. Since like, it sounds cute, it looks effortless, but I know these girls are screaming. They're like, please get me off this damn pole, girl. So really, agreed. Strippers are Olympians because it takes a whole body, a built body to do that shit. Could not be me. Whew.
Yeah, I very much that. I've always said I truly believe that being a stripper should be an Olympian sport. And I don't know why it's not, but here we are, you know. So but anyway, with that being said, now that everybody knows my business, we have to take a break so we can take care of ours. So, with that being said, grab a snack and come on back. All right, y'all. So, for this week's category, we are going to talk about something that I've been mentioning. So, me and Joho were going back and forth via text, and I was telling them that I had so I'll say this. Joho sent me something this week. I don't know if any of you have seen it. It's the two white boys who are reenacting the scene from Norbit where she's like, Norbit, I'm a child. And he turns
I'm a
around.
child.
Yeah, I'm a child, Norbit, I'm a child. And when she turns around and he runs toward it's the whole bit. You can find it on that clock app. But I text Joho back and said, Mama, this is racist. Doesn't this feel a little racist? And then I was like, "This is racist." And then so I said, so we were going back and forth about what we gonna talk about this week. And I said, we're gonna do a whole episode about things that feel racist, things that walk the tightrope. And I don't even like saying rope and blackness in the same line, right? That's still problematic to me because
Ooh,
again, it feels
ooh,
racist.
ooh,
So but
no,
we're gonna talk
no.
about that video specifically or other videos. And what I had made a note about is this is as much as we the last few weeks have been very heavy, so we're intentionally trying to lighten up the episodes because next week we're going to get back into talking about more heavy and more LGBTQ centered conversations. So we're just kind of having some fun around this, but really thinking about this idea. And there have been other folks who have gone into conversations around this, the notion of digital blackface. And so
Mm.
just kind of this idea of wanting to encourage people to look more into digital blackface, but also kind of just sitting with my good Judy and being like, girl, is this giving racist or not? So what do you got, Joho? What are some of the things in your mind that feels racist but might not be racist?
Okay, my first thing is
Mhm.
Taylor Swift 2024 flags. I know
Mm.
I'm gonna get heat for this, but it's giving social behavior. And it's a MAGA fake out for a reason. In my neighborhood, because I live with the gays, and many gays love Taylor Swift. I walk around my street sometimes and see a Taylor Swift 2024 flag that looks just like a MAGA flag, and I legit jump. I'm like, oh my god, what is that? And I'm like, oh, it's a Taylor Swift flag, and I'm not like, I mean, obviously I know. I mean, I don't know. I know it's not racist, but I think it's a little racist, honestly. It feels racist.
Wait, what? Where did
So
I've never heard what?
you never,
So
girl,
it's like a Trump
girl,
flag?
but it says Taylor Swift
Oh
2024.
no.
So it's the
Mm-mm,
same style.
mm-mm,
It
no,
looks like
no.
it's not for me. So that's
Mm-mm.
that's my first point. It just gives social behavior and people who honestly this is a hot take, but I think people who rap for Taylor Swift so deeply have social behavior as well too. And I'm just saying, like, I'm saying there's a level of acceptability for Taylor. Like, I get it. I really do understand people love her, but there are folks who like every story they post is a video of hers. Everything like people who post constantly that like their obsession with her, girl.
Yeah.
Girl, and I know if they could vote for her, they vote for her, and I don't know why, so it's giving racism.
Mm-mm.
My second thing is, gentrification. Gentrification is it just inherently is racist, and I know non-white folks can also be part of gentrifying as well, but the idea of it racist. It's really
Right.
racism. Like it's all
Right.
about
Right.
black and brown people out of the neighborhoods. And alongside gentrification is specialty stores ran by white folks in neighborhoods of color. I have seen many
Yeah.
neighborhoods of color where white folks decide to own specialty stores, and
Mhm.
I understand the why, right? The why is cheaper rent. The why is diverse crowd. But there's always a question about why would you choose this place? Because you know they don't want your ass. So why are you
Right.
here? I live
Right.
what lives in my head rent free is one woman who wanted to open an aguas frescas store here in Barrio Logan, which is a predominantly Latino area. And the community ran her out. They were like,
Wow,
"Girl,
okay.
why are you?" Because she was like, "I love aguas frescas so much, and I feel like there should be a
It
store
was a
dedicated to
white
aguas
lady
frescas."
selling agua fresca?
And all the people were like, "Girl, you
No.
can buy aguas frescas literally at every spot on the block here. Like we all sell
Mm-mm.
aguas frescas." She was like, "But no one sells it like I sell it. No one sells it like just by itself." And like, why, bitch, just open a Jamba Juice then. Like
No.
you need to come and do aguas frescas. It was
Right.
bad. It was bad.
Right.
That was my head,
Mm-mm.
and then the last day, I would say Air One. I haven't been to Air One, I never will go to Air
Yeah.
One. Air One, it just feels
Yeah,
racist.
it's
It just feels
giving
racist. It just
racism,
feels racist. It's
girl.
like racist and elitist. So,
Yeah, it's
that's
giving
it for me, girl.
racism.
How about you?
Yeah, so, um I will say this that so I initially had some and I was just like, I'm gonna go ahead and just put a whole list together. And I actually
Damn,
asked people
bitch,
on
you hella
social media,
that's
right?
crazy.
I went in and I went in with the whole list. So we can just go through some of them. We don't have to go through all of them. But I was gonna say there are a lot of people who had the same response. Like the response on Twitter got a very like the numbers started moving and I was like, okay, but a lot of the responses were the same thing. And so I just compiled the list down to the stuff that we saw. So this
Okay,
is in no
okay.
in particular order, but some of the listeners that we asked that responded said this. So the one that kept coming up was when someone says brother to you.
Girl, yes, yes,
When a white
yes,
says, "Hey brother," I don't like
check.
that.
I hate when but some folks get a little too rowdy. This is my brother.
Nope.
No, no.
Don't do
I have
that.
enough brothers, actually. Please don't do it for me.
No.
Please don't do
Yeah, you're
it.
like,
No.
"I got 4. I don't need
Yikes,
any more."
yikes.
No, absolutely not. So that's one, but you know what else? Someone else had made a note about when someone said, "Hang tight." Hang tight. That reads, mm, you see it, you caught it, right? So yeah, hang tight is another one that someone said on the
I live
socials.
in a surfer area where people say that shit. Oh, no.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
hang tight. Where? Off of what? No,
nope, it's
no.
racist. Um,
Racist.
Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel is
Them white folks design some nice shit, them white folks design some nice shit, okay? I will never afford it. It's racist 'cause they never afford it, but they make some nice shit, and the
they
name
do
itself,
make some nice stuff in that little store, but the fact that you have to walk through that store and what it's given very much plantation, like it's plantation chic before you actually sit down at the
girl,
table. Girl,
girl.
no, I don't feel comfortable in here. Every time I go to Cracker Barrel, I'm like, this
Make
ain't
it
for
stop, make it stop.
us.
Nope, nope.
Um, Next one that was very popular was Ford Explorers. Everyone said,
Okay. I had thoughts on this because I saw that and I was like, hold on, hold on. I mean, yes, I get it because the popo, but many
right.
of black folks also have Ford Explorers as well
That
too.
is
I know
very
many
correct.
black folks have Ford Explorers.
That
I
is
mean,
very correct. Yeah.
so
That
I'm
is,
like, it's not, but it's sad because the popo have made Ford Explorers racist, and because
yeah.
when I see a Ford Explorer, immediately I'm like, 10 2, look around, don't do
Yeah.
nothing.
I
Yeah,
always
it's
do.
scary.
So for me, my thing is I'm always looking for the lights. I'm always that girl. Like anytime I see a Florida Explorer or see anything that resembles a Ford Explorer to me, I'm always doing kind of that look of like, is that does it have police lights? So I could feel that I feel it. I get it. I very much get it
Mhm.
and I very much understand it. I was gonna also say so the next one that was very popular in this list was Oakley's. People said Oakley sunglasses read
I
racist.
don't. They do. They no. They
Mhm.
look no, just no. I see them always like
Yeah. Mhm.
I don't know about it. I
Mhm.
don't know about it. Nope,
Now,
not
I
for me.
put down for the next one, the person who watches you at self-checkout at Target, that gives racism. That gives racism to me. And then let's go back to restaurants. I also put down when somebody asks you if you want hot sauce at a restaurant. So what are you
Okay,
trying to
is that
insinuate?
racism or is that reading the room? Because do you not want hot sauce at your table?
Well, I mean, I don't like hot sauce. You know that. You know I don't like hot stuff.
Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
then, okay, that's not racism. That's just again me in the room, and they're like, "Oh, you don't want it?
No, but I'm like,
Interesting."
why? But,
Mm,
is it like
very
what's her name?
suspect.
Echo. Is it because I'm black? Is it because we're black? Like, why are you asking me? Do I want? You can't ask me if I want condiments. You can't say, "Would you
Eh,
like condiments?" You would
that's
just
fair.
ask
That's
me
fair.
directly if I want hot sauce, girl.
Hon
That shit.
No, you're right, 'cause I do notice whenever I go with black friends or friends of color, we always ask me one hot sauce.
Yeah,
But with white friends, it's usually of what comments might you like? And
yeah,
we're like, "Hot
yeah.
sauce." Like, "Oh, okay,
Yep.
I can use some hot sauce."
Hmm.
And I'm always like, "Hmm,
Yep, always
I feel
watching
you."
them. So we got a few more that we're gonna get through, and we're gonna talk through, and then we'll go on to our next segment because our next segment we're gonna spend a minute talking about. But I
Okay.
was gonna say, so someone else mentioned some serious ones that came through professionalism, but I definitely professionalism kept coming up, and I was gonna say professionalism does read as racism, but it is racism because the notion of someone having to be professional, like if you really dug into what professional
Mm,
means, a lot of it is rooted in this notion of you as a person of color or a marginalized person having to kind of like play up a role
mm,
in order for someone to
uh,
respect you in the workplace. So yes, so that one, even though it doesn't read traditionally like racist, quote unquote, it still has racial undertones. I was going to say the thing for me, which I actually found living out here, is the consecutive flags being in a row. If I see
oh,
homes with multiple American flags, it tells me everything I
girl,
need
I
to
take
know.
it out. We
Hmm.
have to leave. When on 4th of July, we had went to me and roommate had went to a friend's house, and on their block, literally like 10 houses on each side in a row, all had the American flag out, and
Hmm.
I legit I returned on the street, and we were both like, "We've seen this film before, girl."
Yep.
Like, and
Yeah.
then literally our friend's house was the only house that had like a pride flag, Black Lives Matter flag, and I was like, is this too much.
Yeah,
This too much."
they coming for
Ooh,
you,
girl.
girl. Yeah, girl. So
Can I
that's the,
also can I raise up on the list? You put Bass Pro Shops, and I must affirm that when I see a Bass Pro Shop, I'm like racism. I don't know what they do there, but racism. I'm sure it's like a fishing shop. Racism to me. Nope,
yeah,
cannot do it. Nope.
yeah,
Hate it here. Hate it
yeah.
here when I see that.
Somebody said so. Yes, very much in the line of Bass Pro Shops. We're also going to talk about Texas Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse. The rolls are good. Let's talk about it.
We're
I'm a eat a Texas Roadhouse roll, but it also does give racism when
no, it
you.
does. It does. It does. Whenever I
Yes.
go, I'm always like, this is a place where I feel like they would sell us on the table for something. No, I feel you. I feel you. I also see you put pickleball on there, and honestly, agreed. Pickleball
Yes.
is great.
I still don't know what the
Pickleball.
fuck
I
pickleball
love pickleball.
is.
It's fun, girl. It's fun as hell. It's like ping pong and tennis as a child on the court. It's so much
Hmm.
fun. I love pickleball. But when I first started playing it, I was like, this is a game for white people, and it is. But
Yeah.
it's fun. Like it's fun, and like when now this how you know shit's trendy when it goes from white folks to the gays because the gays love
The
pickleball.
gays will eat
Okay,
it
there's
up.
pickleball leagues
Hmm.
everywhere. And in the league that the league we have in San Diego, like a lot of folks
Yeah.
are like black folks
They
and folks of
love
color who
pickleball.
like it. But so I'm like, okay, like now it's a gay sport, but it was first a white sport, and I was like, this is racist,
Of
this racist.
course,
So
just like tennis. Tennis has become a very gay sport in the last couple of
you
years.
stop
So
that. Oh, I was like, last 1 years, the best tennis player in the world is a black woman. Don't do that. Don't do that.
yeah. Well, I'm
But
just
also,
saying though,
but
the
also you're
gays
right.
do
Tennis.
love tennis. They love to. Do you like to play tennis? I'm not. I'm not a tennis girl either. But
So the gays I believe that they abandoned tennis for pickleball. They love tennis, and
they
then
did.
when pickleball
Okay.
came on, they said, "We're done with this. We're going to,"
Okay.
because they want a game where they can wear short shorts and be shirtless, and they
That
said,
makes
"Oh, pickleball
sense.
easier,
Makes a lot of
easier."
sense. So the next one I was gonna say someone had on a list, HOAs. I said, but this is also something that reads as racist that may not be out overtly racist, but it's still rooted in racism. I'm sure that HOAs were created to keep black people out of certain areas. So yeah, it's
Sure.
very much it's intentional. The next one I saw on the list was Kroger's, Albertsons, and Trader Joe's. I asked that question the other day. I said, "Why are Trader Joe's so intense?" Have you ever noticed that? Like when you go
Say
into it, the energy in a Trader Joe's is so intense. What is
say
that?
more. Say more about intense. Like intense
It
how?
just it's something like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like I almost shop holding my breath when I'm in a Trader Joe's.
So people explain Trader Joe's in two different ways. One that's intense, or two that everyone's just extra nice. And I can see both sides because I love me Trader Joe's, and I was just at one an hour ago, and I was like Trader Joe's,
I hate it
and
here.
I was I came in, and the guy was like, "Welcome to the one place where it's free air conditioning. Enjoy our AC." And I was like, "Shut the fuck up! I have
Yeah.
AC in my house too. Calm down. Like I don't need
Like,
your
go
AC,
if you don't
bitch."
get the fuck out my
But
face.
I was, but in my
Yeah.
house, I was like, they're being really nice. Like they're trying. I mean, they're supposed to be really nice. They're paid to flirt with you. For that's been proven. They
Yeah.
pay to flirt with you. I think, but I would argue, are they intense, or do they just actually care? Because other grocery stores don't
Well,
people don't even look at you. They don't care
true,
about you, right? And
true.
so we're used to being ignored. And now that
Yeah.
we get a little bit of love and we're suspect,
Everybody
I
says
don't buy it.
about it.
I don't
Yeah,
buy
I
it.
mean, that's the American way. If someone's too nice, it's like, what do they want? This one
Okay.
has yeah. So I can understand the whole Trader Joe's thing of it all. There's one that I'm saving as my last one on this list, but the other one that made me chuckle was golden retrievers. Why do people think golden retrievers are racist? What is that?
A white man's best friend. I can see it. But
Okay.
honestly, dare I say German Shepherds, because they're a cop's best friend.
Because they
Okay.
work with the police.
Okay.
German
Oh,
Shepherds, they be working with 50. Yeah, they be
okay.
working. Yeah, they work with the feds. So I
I'm
get
just
that.
saying.
I can see why
I
we would
mean,
sign out the hell out of a German
let me
Shepherd.
cook, yo. Let me cook. I'm just saying the German Shepherds, bow wow wow, out here
Mhm.
working for the out here working for the popo. So I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's racism right there, girl. Mm.
So we got so the last three. I'm gonna do three more, and then we can roll out of the segment. So the next one was credit scores and credit checks, but again, that was not instituted until the 80s when they were trying to make sure that they could keep us from attaining homes. And I would also encourage people, if you've never done any research around redlining, that might be something. Credit scores
Mhm.
and redlining and credit checks and all that, it all kind of started in the same era, right? So
Mhm.
I'm sure they were doing redlining before that, but I would say like the talk of redlining and folks being more hip to understanding what redlining is, it all kind of kicked up in the 80s. So yes, credit
Mhm.
scores and credit checks are racist by definition. Red hats, red hats.
Facts.
If I
Facts.
see a
Facts.
red
Facts.
hat, I'm ready to
I
fight.
hate I hate them. I get triggered and scared every
Uh-huh.
time.
Uh-huh. May not
Every
be
time.
racist to you,
Whew,
but they racist to me. A red hat
girl.
is very much
Okay.
giving. I'm about to yeah, I'm ready to
Okay,
fight.
y'all. Now that we've made fools of ourselves, y'all, we gotta pay some bills, which are also racist and homophobic, honestly. But we gotta do them anyway. So, give us a moment. We'll be back in just a sec. Okay, fam, and we are back. And before we start with our last segment of the day, John has one more "Is it racist?" thing to give us. John, go ahead, baby boo.
So this is after working in a corp for every black person who works in even a black and queer person who works in a corporate office, you know this one. That half smile that white people give you when they don't, it's not like a full, it's not a hey, how are you smile. It's kind of like a it's just like the upper lip smile. That's racist. At least
The
it's
upper
not,
lip
and it may
smile.
not be racist to anyone else, but it feels racist to me. I just feel that. That was
The
one of
upper
the
lip
ones that
smile.
was on my list. I
That's
said,
fair.
"Oh,
That's fair.
that upper lip smile that white people give black people when they walk past them, it feels racist."
Mm,
Mhm.
the upper
Y'all
lip
know
hit.
that
We're like,
smile.
girl.
Mhm. I don't
I
trust
mean,
you.
but some ain't got no lips to smile with. Like,
Don't Let's
not to
move
be
on.
rude.
Let's move on.
Not
Let's You are not getting us canceled. Get out of
oh,
here.
that's what gets us canceled. That's what gets us canceled. That's what gets us canceled. The no lip having ass bitches, but not anything else that we've said.
I hate
Girl.
it here.
Okay.
Let
Anyways, fam, we told you we was gonna cuckoo for a bit, and now's the time in this last segment. So we know we don't always get political with y'all, but it's an election year, and let's be honest,
Yeah.
our Denny's are inherently political, girl. So that said, let's talk about some shit. Kamala,
Oh,
girl, what you think? I
you
know last week, last week we're discussing the announcement and stuff. And I know you posted that video talking about her as well last week. So I
Yeah,
think
I
our
did.
view and I think our viewpoints really capture some parts of the Black community and the Black queer community. So like,
Mhm.
what's tea?
I have a whole dissertation in these show notes
You
about
really do. I was
my
like,
feelings about her, and I knew when I was typing them they were getting long because my hands started hurting. Um, I will say this. So, one I will say is, "You think you fell out of a coconut tree? You what else did she say after that?
She said, "You exist
You
in the
exist in the
context
context of everything that came
you
before
are
you."
and everything that came before you."
Yeah,
But you yelled with the hands because she always has the hands. She's like, "Where you are and everything that came before you." Like,
yeah.
why is she
Yeah.
shaking so much,
So I will
girl?
say this. So before I get into my dissertation, my second dissertation that I wrote about Kamala Harris, I am I saying her name right? Is it Kamala or
Kamala,
Kamala?
Kamala,
Yeah, Kamala Harris. Okay, yeah, I
Kamala.
want Kamala Harris. I actually tweeted about that too.
I
Kamala
was like, "You
Harris.
know, I was reading about
Yeah,
that."
right. I'm the
You
one
said
who talked
Kamala
about it.
and I said, "Okay,
Kamala Harris,
heard,
right?
heard."
Um, I feel like every time, we kinda get into this, you kinda gotta talk about it, and I think about it from this prospect. So, does she have a dicey history? Yes. Does she ha ha maybe, and I'm gonna say, could she potentially be a part of the problem? I think we all are, yes, but I think the reason why I say we open Pandora's box with this one is because I'm glad that you brought up this for us to talk about, because I think that, like, I've been sitting with some of my thoughts and I'm like, I'm actually going to talk about it on the show. So I will say this. Um
Mm,
yes, Kamala is part of the problem, right? I think all politicians are. I think our whole entire political system in a whole is inherently problematic, troublesome, and does it get it right sometimes? Yes. Do they get it right sometimes? Maybe. Pop, here and there, right? But I think in all there is still a part of me that says I don't trust anyone in the political sphere, right? No matter how much they're rooting and championing the idea of I'm here to save you, right? And I said that in my video. I don't believe that any politician is ever going to save us. Could they help us? Maybe. Could they support us? Possibly. But fully
mhm,
save us? Absolutely not, right? Because we know politics is inherently problematic in the
mhm,
sense that even with the world saying, oh, all men are created equal, right? They meant all white men, right? So me as a
mhm,
black person, I'm never going to ever be fully vetted or seen as a whole person in this world. That's the first part. Um,
mhm,
but what I will say that she has been, much like many of us who listen to the show, we're part of the problem. And I wanted to note that, like, I want to step up to the mic and say that regardless of how people receive this, it is what it is, right? Like, I know I'm part of the problem. And what I mean by that is what I'm about to follow and say. Yes, I am that person that keeps buying shit from Apple when it drops, knowing that there's a war over resources in Sudan and other African territories, right? I know that that shit is happening, but I'm still in that line purchasing a new phone, purchasing a new iPad, purchasing the new headphones, purchasing I'm part of that problem, right? So I accept that. And whatever backlash people are going to give me for that. I struggle with my addictions to Starbucks and McDonald's, even though I know that people are actively calling for me to boycott them, right? But I like their stuff. Even though it's not that great, I still enjoy their products, right? Um, I even had a hard time skipping R. Kelly's music and songs he produced
mhm,
when all of the stuff with him 2 or 3 years ago started, right? Like, I want to be transparent in saying that I
mhm,
don't want to sit here on this microphone and be that person that's like, oh, we have to do better and we have to do this. No, I'm human just like y'all are. And I pick and choose what I want to champion and what I don't, right? So all that I can say now is that I am part of the issue, but I am still working to find a solution. And that's the thing that I keep thinking people miss in this conversation, right? And what I mean by that, and I hope I'm not being too long-winded, what I'm saying is while I have my Starbucks cup, I am still going to a nonprofit that is fighting for the liberation of Black, Latinx, queer people, right? So
mhm,
that
mhm,
that's something that I can sit with and say, yeah, there's a part of me that's problematic and could potentially boycott Starbucks, But also at the same time, I'm still trying to figure out a solution. And that's where I sit with Kamala in this conversation, right?
Mm, mhm, mhm.
I am in the community with folks day in and day out who are trying to find solutions to fuck these systems up that we have to navigate. And I think that's what Kamala is. She's not an answer, but she's a solulu to the delulu, right? That's what I see in all of this. And I have to say this, like,
Mm,
we've had guests on the show in the last few weeks who have outrightly said that it's insane for us to believe that one person, specifically this black woman, is going to find a solution to all of the US's inherent issues and problems. There's no
mhm,
way this one black woman is going to be able to do that. Hell, Obama couldn't even do it. And he had a fuck ton of support in 2008,
mhm,
right? So I just really want to say, like, I know that we had a racial reckoning in 2020, and I put quotations around that, right? I'm still sitting with what happened to Sonia Massey, her life being taken for no fucking reason, and how I'm pissed off about that. Let's not play any games here. Like, I think we have someone outrightly saying, where I'm going to do whatever I can to make this place a living hell for marginalized people in 2025. And the only answer we have is, you know I'm in my it feels like everyone's answer to that is, oh, I'm in my feelings. I don't
mm,
like Kamala because she locked a few people. Okay, yes, the girl did that back in the day. But nigga, what are we doing right now?
mm,
We are going to be in chains if y'all don't
mm,
figure this shit out right this minute. So until you can come up with a better solution than Kamala, right? And we can think bigger long term, and we have the time to do that. Like, I'm just in the mind, I'm gonna say this and shut up because I feel like I've gone long. We don't have the time right now. We have 3 months to get this shit figured out before this man takes every single right that we have. So my mind is, let's focus on what's important right now. Let's get Kamala in office, and then we can figure all that other shit out, because we need to be able to at least have a voice up until that point. But if y'all gonna sit here and be like, oh, I don't like Kamala and I don't think that she should be president, blah 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 blah. Okay, well, you can't complain when you are outside picking cotton. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a light skinned black, and I'm gonna stand right there on that porch, and I'm gonna look and say, everybody was complaining, and I was saying we got to find a solution, and here we are. I'm just being
mm,
honest.
mm.
And however people receive it is how they receive it. And I know people may not like what I'm saying. I don't care. What I'm saying is that for me, Kamala is a piece of the solution right now. You don't have
Ooh,
to love her, but she is all we got. And if you
well,
don't, what other option do we have? What is the solution, sis?
ooh,
That's where I'm
damn. Well, thank you everyone for coming to our show. We appreciate the time we've had on air. This is our last episode. We appreciate everyone. So you said that my comment was cancelable
at.
in the last segment, but you come out here saying, "Ooh, girl," but you come out here saying you'll be on the porch,
I'm
bitch.
looking. I'm just saying. I'm okay. I'm not gonna be out in the fields. Y'all can
You
feel
said,
however
"Ooh."
y'all feel, but I'm not gonna be out there in the heat. I don't do well with the heat. I just don't. I am not going to be out there, and I have made that very clear. So I'm just
Yeah.
saying, yeah, all jokes
No,
aside,
I feel like no, but I
all
I
jokes.
mean
Go ahead.
I mean, truthfully, I won't be either. And I hate to say it, but like, you look at me and you're like, I'm gonna be making bread in the house. Like, that's
Right,
what I'll be
right.
sort of doing, right? If it happens the way it's happened before, right? Who's to say? Who's to say? Because if Trump's president, he could go back to one drop rule and say, no, girl, all y'all gonna be
All y'all
just
niggas are out
gonna
there
be
in
the
the
thing.
field.
So
Period. Right,
you know,
right.
so I think like what's interesting about this time is like I think people don't always girl. So my cat was meowing. Damn cat, you feeling some type of way? Girl? Relax, boo. Oh, my cat out here feeling the heat. He said, "Oh, I'm done. I'm sitting my ass down." See, look at him. Look at him. And he a black cat too. He said,
Yeah.
You won't have me
Mhm.
outside, girl. You gonna
I
have
know that's
I'm gonna lay
right.
down in this air conditioning, baby girl." So one thing I think people don't always realize is that like the movement and organizing takes time. Like and systems change takes time as well too. Like it took it like system change takes like a decade to make sometimes, and I'm not, and it shouldn't, right? I want to be really clear, it should not. Like system change should not happen in 10 years. It should happen tomorrow, but
Right.
it does
Right.
take 10 years often, or X amount, and a few years to happen, and we had to undo, right? And it's interesting because because in some ways system change happens quickly, right? In the
Mhm.
presidency, like we know things happen quickly when Trump was president that weren't good, right? So bad happens really quickly. It takes a long time for good. Takes a long time for things to be dismantled, and so we know that Trump dismantled 8 years of quote unquote good things that have happened, and then Biden came in to try and hopefully undo that stuff, and now we have a chance to either go back to the 4 years again before with Trump, or have 4 more years as maybe something better happening. Who's to say?
Right.
It's a hard place to be, though. It really is a hard place to be, because like when I posted the story last week about the Oakland organizer dragging Kamala, people were eating me up. People were trying to eat me up in my DMs, trying to eat me up. They did not succeed, but they tried to, because they could not swallow with me, girl.
They did
But
not have the range, but go
did not
off.
have the range or the teeth,
Mhm.
or the teeth apparently, to try and shoot me up. But like, because they can be talking about, well, it's him or her, and I'm like, okay, like y'all, I'm sorry, but I actually can't be reduced to like a binary him or her thing. Like I get why, but like there's more than just that. And there are many friends, and shout out to the friends who really share their feelings with me and really engage with me on it, because I appreciate it a lot. But then I find my story is that, like, it's okay to want more, right?
Mhm.
It's okay to acknowledge what our choices are, and that choices are not great. And I had to name that critique,
Real.
the critique of her is fair and necessary. Like many of us really do feel forced to vote for her, right? And that
Right.
is not a good feeling, right? Like I think a lot about Angelica Ross, who had made that video where she made the post, right, where like she's not endorsing Kamala, but she will vote for her, right?
Right.
And like and I don't know if it may have changed since then, because things happen quickly in terms of the election process and the
Mhm.
presidential
Mhm.
race. But like, so some of us feel forced to vote for this person, right? And she is a Black and South Asian woman who was raised around civil rights movement, raised around Oakland, the Black Panther Party, and yet does not fully align with those politics, which is an
Right.
interesting and like weird thing. Right? I listened to a great episode of NPR's Code Switch that dived into Kamala's history in the Bay as an attorney general,
Mhm.
as a senator, as DA before she was VP.
Yeah.
And it talked a lot about the fact that even though she has the identities that she has, she still works, in some cases, perpetuates a system that is meant to just empower us, to arrest us, and to kill us. And so I think many of us do have a question of, is she trying to dismantle, or is she just trying to mitigate? And like there's a need for both strategies in the work, for sure. But when we're running for president, we need more than mitigation. And I won't pretend to know how a country works, right? Like I don't pretend to know how to run a country. And so I think, to your point,
Yeah.
right, if people have better solutions, bring them to the table, girl. But like, I don't know how to run a country, and I can acknowledge that. But it don't mean that I can't want better for us as well too. And I'm too mindful of what our country could look like with that man in that role, and I just can't do
Right.
that, right? Like I
Right.
just can't do it. And so it's hard, because I feel like, because I know that many folks are sitting here now, and it's interesting, because I wonder, right? Like I think a lot about our episode with Richard Fowler, right? Because at that point, like Kamala was on the table, and so I wonder
Yep.
what he'd say now.
Now,
Kamala
yeah,
was
yeah,
on the table,
yeah.
right?
Me too.
Like
I would love to hear him
because
now.
he's also talked a lot about the black vote, right? And
Mhm.
what I mean, and like black men voting. And I wonder, like, will black men vote for a black woman? Will anyone vote for black women? Right? Like we're in this place now where we just are not sure what's going to happen, and we're in this
Right.
like really intense and sad limbo. And it's sad, because I think, like, Kamala, you're right, we have memed Kamala to perfection. People are memeing the fuck out of her, and
Yeah.
we love her for that, and we love what she represents in terms of the memes. But at the end of the day, what is she actually going to do for us in terms of policy? Like, we actually have no idea what she'll do for us in terms of policy.
No.
Half of her speeches are just things that people meme more, right? And like, we keep making fun and being funny about it, but I want to know, what is she going to do for us, or and
Right.
what can she do, right? Like, what actually can she do for us that will help us?
Mhm.
Because it's hard, right? Like I know in her book she talks about the idea of, she felt that maybe her best strength wasn't being the activist knocking on the door, and trying to change that way, but being the person who opens the door for the activists. In some ways, like, she has done that work. She has opened the door for activists to sit on a table and like be involved in strategy and somewhat policy, but she hasn't. But she also hasn't like fully upheld that to the point where she actually changes something. And so, like, what, well, like, how can she do that, right?
Mhm.
But also, I also want to be really clear and honest with people and saying, and I feel like I don't know if I said this last week, but many of us who are voting right now, right, who are like, "F, I won't vote at all," and I will be on, and I'll be like, "Do what you gotta do, girl. Like, this is your election too. Do however you want to do what you want to do." But
Right, right.
recognize the privilege you have in saying that, because most people who are saying that are people who live in California, people who live in New York City, people who live in really liberal places
Mhm.
where where, like, whatever happens to the presidency most likely will not be affected so negatively. I feel like I said this last week as well too. But like I want to be super clear about that, and I will keep saying it every week if I have to. Like, people, many folks who are trying to dissuade us from participating in this way are folks who live in places where they have a privilege, because they will not be actually detrimentally harmed by policies enacted by Trump if he comes in presidency, right? So, like, I know that my vote is actually not just for me or California. It's actually for people in Georgia, people in Florida, people in, across the country
Yep.
who, like, who on a federal level may have these rights that they will not have anymore,
Nope.
and
Mhm.
and deserve these types of rights that they may not get. And so I know too well. Gordo, relax. That cat is doing the damn thing. See, girls like, yes, go on,
Yes.
vote.
Yes, the cats are saying,
But
"Girl,
I
get up
know,
and vote."
vote,
Yes,
vote. I know too well what our country could look like, right? I know that I will travel less. I will not travel to certain places if he's president. I will not. I will actually want to, like, leave the country, because I don't know if I can, like, be in his country anymore. Like,
right.
I know too well what our country could look like if he's in that role, and I can't in good conscience be that person to vote him, or to, like, give him power to be voted in either. So it's a
Yeah.
sad place. And so I think for me, I'm somebody who sometimes actually don't want to vote for Kamala, but
Mhm.
if it's between them two, I will. Like, if it's between them two, I will, because, and a lot of folks are like, there's a third, a lot of folks are like, there's a third option, you can vote independent, and, like, yes, I could, and I wish I would, but I only would if that person had an actual chance of winning. But, like, I know that it's so unlikely that the person will win, unfortunately, because they don't have enough movement, they don't have enough capital
They
behind them, which
don't.
is really
They
unfortunate,
don't.
right?
Mhm.
They don't have the ability to actually, like, win in that way. And so, yes, I can make a statement saying I'll vote for someone who actually might reflect me more.
Yeah.
But then if
Yeah.
I know that person may not win, then, like, am I actually helping, or am I
No.
or am
No.
I
No.
am I harming in some ways, right? And so
Yep. You're
I
so right.
everyone has their own feelings about this, and I want everyone to feel valid in their feelings. But I just also know that, like, we have to make a decision about what we want to do for ourselves and for our country. Um, even though it should not be honest, and it should not be honest in the first place, right? And, and also, like, fuck the electoral college, right? Like, fuck the electoral college, because those bitches may also come in and ruin everything for us as well too, right? They may
Yep.
actually all vote for Trump anyways, and maybe for Bernay, which I really hope isn't the case. And
Mhm.
so I would love us to dismantle and abolish that for sure. That way we
Yeah.
can actually do some popular voting and stuff. But yeah, so all I have to say, I you know thank you for indulging me, John. Because I do think, like, I think you and I are in different places on this, but also see a lot of things the same way together. And I know that we do represent a lot. I think that a lot of folks are experiencing, especially as black femme folks
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
the country, what they're feeling as well in this moment. So
Yeah.
thank you.
No, and I agree, and I appreciate you taking the time out on the show for us to say this publicly. Like, I want folks to understand, like I said, all jokes aside, like, we are all in a really, and I'm just the only way I can say, we're all in a really fucked up spot, right?
Hmm.
There is no right in my mind in this thing, right? Because the thing is, you vote for Kamala, you feel like you feel screwed. You don't vote for Kamala, you feel screwed,
Hmm.
right? It's the same. It's a double-edged sword. But what I will say is, I'm in the mind of, we may have to do the necessary. We may have to work with the necessary evil so we can find a solution. And I'm just in the mind of, I think for me, where my heart is, I'm sick of people platforming themselves as being the all in, I know everything, everyone else is wrong, when you're not offering a
Hmm.
solution, because many of
Hmm.
you are quick to name the problem, and many of you are quick to point fingers, and Palestine this, and okay, I get it. Everyone is doing some fucked up shit, but what is the other solution, sis? Like, that's where my heart has been for the last 2.5, 3 weeks. What else do we have? Because my livelihood is on the line here, and y'all are playing with that. Like, because you have like, if it all comes down to it, right, you're very cis passing, you're straight passing. The world's not gonna fuck with you the way that the world fucks with me. So that's where my head has been for these last couple of weeks. I've just been really in this bind of many of the people who are getting on these soapboxes and are talking about all of the problems with Kamala and all of this and all of that. I'm going, your liberty is protected because you can pass, but I don't have that luxury. So what are we going to do come November 8th when I'm sitting here looking around going, all my rights are literally up in the air, right? Like, it just is that,
Yeah.
it's that kind of stuff that I don't think people and I guess that's the other thing I want to say too before we move on. Folks need to be real careful with their platforms right now. Like, using your platform to dissuade people from voting is very, 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 very gross to me. That's some nasty
Mhm.
work, and
Mm.
to tell someone that they shouldn't be voting at all because you personally don't like the candidate. That to me is that I take big issue with that. I take
Mhm.
very big issue with that. Especially because like I said, many of you who are telling people don't vote for her or don't vote for Democrats and blah blah blah. Okay, girl, you can go home and you can lay your head down on a pillow in a 5, 6, 7 bedroom house that you can afford. Many of us can't. So that's just kind of where my heart is. I think we all need to be a little bit more careful about how we're talking and how we're treating this, because like I said, years past it was kind of funny. Ha Kiki, ha, Trump is awful, ha, he's a joke, ha. No, but this man is literally saying he wants to put us back in, basically, in so many words, he's looking to put us in internment camps.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
literally what he's saying in so many words. And I don't think enough people are taking that seriously. But with that being said, not to drag the mood down of the show, we have to take one more break before things go to hell, because they already there, child. They already near it. But when we get back, we're gonna get back with your favorite segment, Yes Ma'am and No Ma'am Pam. More in a sec. All right, y'all. So this week we're going to jump into our Yes Ma'am and our No Ma'am Pams. And I'm just going to quickly say, for my Yes Ma'am, I feel like I've been talking a lot this episode. So I'm going to go ahead and say my Yes Ma'am this week. I really wanted to just shout out. So last Sunday, had no idea that my partner and a whole bunch of my friends had put together a surprise birthday party for me. As you all may know, by the time you hear this, a week ago, I turned 35/39. So I definitely
Hey.
want to say thank you to everybody who either sent love or came out to the party or helped my husband plan the party. I had never had a surprise party ever again, so I was super blown away that my husband made it happen and that there were friends who like helped him put it together. And so it was just really cool to feel so loved. And I say this because many of you have known and many of you have heard in past episodes, I talk very openly about the struggle I've had in the last few years of feeling like I don't, losing two of my best friends to COVID in the last 4 years has really left a very big hole in my heart. And so sometimes I can struggle with feeling like I have community, feeling like I have people I can trust, feeling as if I have true friends. And so seeing so many people actually come or send their love in whatever facet that they did, it really showed me that I truly am loved. So I even had one friend fly in, which even like blew me away even more. Like, it was like super insane to me that this person got on a plane to come see little old me just for a night. So that, shout out to you, Quasm. I know you listen to the show. I love you. Thank you for doing that. It was just such a beautiful thing. And so I know you couldn't be there, Joho, and I know that there were other friends who couldn't be there for other reasons. And I wanted to make that very clear that for the friends who listen to the show that couldn't be there, I don't want you thinking that I'm holding that against you. I know we all have lives. I know we all have things that come up, but just to know that I'm loved, it definitely means the world to me. So I want to say that. Now getting back into my No Man Pams. I initially was going to go off about customer service, but I'm gonna go ahead and scrap all of this, and I'm just gonna say, my No Man Pam this week, and we probably gonna get in trouble. I have a feeling Will is gonna email us and be like, "Girl, you did a lot on that episode." I love you, Will. Uncle Will is what I call him. Um, Whoever took that, and I said this in my stories, and I'm gonna say it here too. Whoever took the chicken salad off the Panera Bread menu, your mom's a hoe. It's just trifling. You are a trifling bitch. You went into that boardroom and you said, you know what we're gonna do to make people even more mad at us? Because let's be clear, Panera Bread ain't nothing but upscale cafeteria food anyway. Let's call it what it is. But the fact that you went in there and you took the one thing off that menu that brought me joy is that chicken salad sandwich. I hope you get no rest. Whoever was the one who pulled the plug on it, I hope you get no rest because we don't deserve that. We deserve so much more from you, Panera Bread. I'm done. But I just wanted to say that.
I hope
Trifle.
I I hope they hear this and that they bring it back just for you because this you I'm I'm a I'm gonna make a clip about this and post it at some point in time and be like, Panera Bread, we see you, girl, and bring back the chicken salad for my good sis John.
I feel
Whew,
it
girl.
was like when McDonald's took away the high C orange. Who? Why? It wasn't even bothering
Get
anybody.
mad at me, Jesus.
Like the
You say
chicken
what is
salad
this? I
wasn't
get
even
mad.
doing nothing to nobody, and you just gonna take it off the menu.
Mm, mm, okay. Whew, girl, she mad. She mad. She mad. And she mad rightfully so. And
Yeah.
is. And I love that. And I love that. I'm gonna reverse it today. My no man Pam was gonna be something else as well too, but I'm gonna scrap it as well because I don't feel like riding my heart doing it, but I will say no man Pam. I saw recently a show. It was a musical, the Adams Family musical. I love the Adams Family. It was actually really fantastic. So no man Pam to whoever designed the costume for Morticia, particularly the wig for Morticia. Well, also the costume. The
Why would you subject
Morticia.
yourself to that?
I love the Adams Family, and I love a musical. So I was like, I'm here for this. I'm here for this. And
Mm,
it was a show. It was community theater. It was giving community theater for sure.
okay.
And so, first of all, no, that I'll say first, the actor was acting. She was fantastic as an actress. I give her that for sure.
Okay.
The costume that she was given, gross. Just got Morticia would never wear a black outfit with that much texture. Period.
Mm,
Also,
mm.
that wasn't form fitted. That was loose. Morticia was a form fitted queen. Thirdly, and lastly, and most importantly, and I cannot stress this enough, Morticia should never have should never have 20 inches down to her shoulders and curls. Morticia
Curls.
is 40-inch bust down, middle parted. Okay. Morticia is inches down to her ankles.
Right.
Morticia Morticia is giving the baddest pitch in the game. Morticia is giving she may put a spell on you. Morticia is giving Megan Thee Stallion. Like Morticia is giving.
Like, yeah.
Whoever said this costume was fine, I want to find you. I will find you one day, and I will have to. I will have to. I don't know what I'll do to you, but I'll do something to you. But I will have to. I will have to make you recognize that you played with the wrong bitch today when you gave Morticia curly hair and 20 inches of curly hair. That was not cute. It should have not gone to her shoulder blades. It should have gone down to her, but if not longer. And she gave her a better outfit. So no man Pam to you, whoever you are, mysterious artist in the world. I love your art. You design many of the outfits are great, except that one. I was really mad about it. So damn girl, I was really mad.
Mm,
My yes
mm, mm.
man Pam today is gonna be the Dr. Reverend John Paul Higgins, the
Thank you.
blueprint and creator of this incredible BFS universe. I had a lot to say about you today, bitch. Y'all may have missed it. Well, actually, you missed it because John just said it as well, but it was their birthday yesterday at the time of this recording.
Yeah.
And so I must, on this episode, give them their flowers. I must. I'm doing unscripted. I have no idea what I'm going to say. I could say something wrong. She could say something bad. Who's to say? But buckle up, bitch, because it's going to get emotional, though. You don't understand. You talk about a lot of other people and how they change their life and how they change your life and
Mhm.
how they move you. But you don't understand how you do the same for the people. You
Oh,
don't understand, and you don't me, bitch. Don't me. Just breathe it in and hold it for a second, because you need to understand how many lives you change with what you do, with what you say, with what you post, with who you are, with where you go. You, like, in your personal life, in your podcast life, in professional life, you truly help create futures for people. And that is amazing. We exist in a context where we exist in a world where people's futures are being taken from them constantly, right? As
yeah,
queer folks,
yeah.
as well as trans folks. And you help people build their futures. You help
Mm,
people realize that there is light in a world of darkness. You help people realize that there's a light in their tunnel for them. You help them continue to choose to live on their story. You change lives every moment of every day. You help people get in the door with media work, with sponsorships, with getting the work to be noticed more. You
mm,
uplift others. Like, you do so much work, and I don't think, I don't believe that you actually recognize that in yourself.
mm,
You are one of the most hard work. You are one of the hardest working people I've ever met. Your grind cannot be touched. Your pen game cannot be touched when it comes to how you write these show flows, how you write your words and get them published. Like, what you do cannot be touched from anybody. And I truly pray that when the come up comes for you in the highest way, that you feel so full and fulfilled, and that
mm,
everything that you ever want is given to you in abundance, because that's what you deserve.
mm,
But I really, really need to stress that you change, for me, that you changed my life in ways I can never actually repay you for, and never actually imagine, or never actually, like, imagine to actually, like, say. You have made me realize how much, like, who I want to be in this world. You made me realize how I want to be in this world. You've given me language and tools to actually articulate that. You've helped me become a stronger writer, a stronger speaker, a stronger activist, a stronger human being. Like, without you, I would not be where I am today. And so, like, I
mm.
know that you do that for all those people as well too. But as your co-host and as your sister, and as someone who's inspired by you constantly, you've made my life so much better. You have made my family better. You've made my, like, love better. You have made me a better human in the world. And I am so, so thankful to know you and to be around you, to take in your light. And I truly pray to all the gods in the world and the universe, may you always feel divine and 30 fine. And may you feel this way for the rest of your life. So it shall be, so it is, baby. I love you
Thank you,
so much.
God.
You to you, my bitch.
Oh, yes, yes. I will say I receive all of that, and I appreciate you saying that because, like I said, there are days where I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, none of this matters. Nobody cares. And then, it's moments like these that remind me that, I'm doing what I've been put on this earth to do. So thank you for helping me find my light. I like I said, I'm just a reflection of you. I
Mm,
I never in my wildest dreams thought that day that we met in ASI that we would ever be the friends, the family, the sisters that we are. It's been what, almost 10 years, and we've been
mm,
rocking deep with each other. And one thing I always tell people, I don't play the things that I don't play about is my food, my donuts, and my Joho. Like, if there are three things in this world that I would truly cut somebody over, those are the three things, right? Food, money, and my girl Joho. So, and donuts too. So,
mm,
I really, really, truly appreciate you sharing that with me, and just again, the love is so mutual. Like, as much as you give me that love, I return it tenfold, because I tell you, I truly don't think our show would be what it is if it wasn't for you keeping me together around a lot of the stuff that we do. So
mm.
I'm forever grateful. I go to bed every night just being so thankful that I have the co-host that I do. And I genuinely mean that from the bottom of my heart. Um,
Thank you.
and so I love you for it. All right, y'all. Well, between this love fest and me cussing people out this whole episode, this has been fun. So if y'all got feedback, you want to share something, go ahead, send it through. Y'all know where to do that. You can send us your thoughts, your feedback, your emails to blackfatfempod@gmail.com. You can also send us your thoughts via social medias, right? You can interact with our Instagrams, our Twitters, and go down to the YouTube, girl. Go down and watch us being crazy. I shouldn't say crazy. I'm still learning to take that word out of my vocabulary, y'all. I'm working on it. I am a what do you call that? I'm a work in progress. So please give me the grace that you give other people. With that being said, Queen Joho, where can the dogs find you, baby?
Of course, you can find me as always at Joe Nails across all the socials. Or if not, then my website, joenails.com. And if not, there you can find me on the internets trying to find out when Kim Whitley and Jack Hay Harry became twins. Because have you seen the picture of me like I was 10 years old when I realized that Kim Whitley and
They
Jack
do
Hay,
favor
Jack
each other.
are not the same person.
Yeah,
And
they
I know
do
it's not
favor each
that those are different to me, but this picture, I was like, girl, they look the
Mhm.
exact same to me. I was like, when did they become twins? When did they become twins? I love that for them.
They do favor each other. I will say that as a kid, there were moments where I was like, "Are they related?" Because they do favor each other. But it's just like there are multiple black people who look alike. So I think it's just they're just chubby and light skinned. I think that's really what it comes down to. They're just chubby and light skinned, and
Mhm.
people gonna always put two chubby black girls who are light skinned and got the same stature in the same category. But yes, they do favor each other, especially when they both have curly hair. But
Okay.
anyway, with that being said, y'all can find me down to my website at www.drjohnpaul.com. You can also find me on social screaming. Chris, you can cut all of that, but I was just gonna say
Ah, ah, oh my god! I'm fucking screaming. That shit was wild. Oh my god, I wasn't ready for that. Oh.
because that's literally how I feel. Fuck them forever, and you can keep bleeping me, Chris. Bleep me until like. Do you watch? Did you ever watch Martin?
I did.
Okay, do you remember that episode where he was in the radio show and Stan had to run in and bleep Martin because he was
Yes.
cussing somebody out?
Yes.
That's basically what this episode is giving. That Chris is gonna have to bleep me every 5 seconds because yeah, that's exactly what the energy is giving. But anyway, with that being said, we want to thank our producer Bay Wang for handling all the logistics and everyone over at iHeartMedia for keeping this show up and running. We also want to shout out our wonderful editor Chris Rogers because without him we would have no show or visuals. We'd be looking exactly like Beyonce Giselle Knows Carter looks at us, honey. We would you you're the visual baby. You are the visual baby. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How she shook her head and walked off that stage. I'll never forget it. You are the visual baby. Um, Sidebar. I was telling Jonathan last night. Everybody knows my husband's name is Jonathan too. I was telling him that I think Beyonce is recording or filming something because did you see that video of that man was screaming at Beyonce and she waved at him when they was leaving?
No.
They were on the set
Send,
of something. So she's doing
send it to me.
something. I don't know what she's
Oh,
doing,
all right.
but she's
Ooh.
filming something.
Hopefully
So
not another commercial
I,
because I hate that commercial.
yeah, I hope it's not another commercial, but I would really love for it to be something that we could actually digest. Give like I had tweeted because somebody had posted last night that it's been 2 years of the Renaissance album,
Mhm.
and I was saying the only way that the world could be united at this point is if she released the visuals to the Renaissance film. That's the only way that we would be. The whole world would heal. It'd be just you remember that first couple weeks of the pandemic when every like the birds started chirping again and things was getting green, there was no traffic and
Yeah,
all the
first
smog
was
had left.
feeling, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what would happen if Beyonce released the visuals to
feel
Renaissance.
again.
Mhm.
Mhm.
The whole
Okay.
world would heal. All right, y'all. Well, that has been another show. Please keep listening. Tell your mamas, your aunties, and everybody to listen. And with that being said, stay black, fat, femme, and fabulous. And remember, snitches get stitches and might end up in dishes. I love
Okay.
us for real. Bye.
Bye.